Hey y'all, Noons here, and welcome back to Noons Airborne RC. And if it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can get notified for future content. I got another goodie, guys. I got something to try out on one of my turbines to go ahead and help it. My HSD Super Viper, if you guys seen a previous video, it likes to have this little skid because the brakes aren't equal. I've tried everything mechanically to remedy it. It just doesn't happen. So on my Rebel Hot, I put a Zykoy LG15 controller on there, and that made a big difference on that. So what I did is I went ahead and purchased the Assan AG63 gyro. This bad boy right here, it's a brake gyro, anti-slip. So if it starts to lean one side or the other, it will correct on it. Also, it has a front gear nose gyro, guys. So let's go ahead and break it down. Join me.
Get some!
Well guys, we finally got this thing in. It's the Assan AG63 anti-sideways slip brake gyro. Basically a brake and a front nose steering gyro. I ordered this from RC Castle. Went ahead, it only took 6 days to get in from Hong Kong. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and unwrap it. So we got instructions. And the gyro itself, guys. Alright. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Alright guys. So on the gyro itself, you can see it's pretty simple. You have a brake power supply. It takes 5 to 60 volts, 2 to 14S. Basically what you guys are going to plug in here is the equivalent that's with your brakes. Mine's JP Hobby brakes, so I'll be running this off of 2-cell power. You have your right brake and your left brake. This is actually where your brake connects into on this side right here. Alright, over here for your servo leads, you have a gear in and gear out. You got them marked right here. This is your gear out and this is your gear in. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then you have your brake in, your turning. This is what you're using for your steering right here. And then this right here goes to your turning servo. So basically guys, if you're gonna have brakes on a plane, and let's say it does not have any landing gear, and you don't want the front steering gyro, you don't have to plug anything into here except for the brake. You don't have to utilize this. You just utilize what you're doing. So let's say on a plane, you would have this right here going into your brake in on your receiver or whatever you got this going into. This would go to the gear out, for the gear in and the gear out. Then from here you'd have it going to your retracts, and or you'd have this going to your retract module. The reason why it wants this is it wants to know when the gyro is active. So it's only active when the gear's down. So this is basically just a pass-through on and off switch for the gyro. This is your brake in, very simple. This right here, this goes from your receiver. Usually on my jets I have a separate channel on channel 9 for this, but if you have it tied to your rudder, that's where this would go. And this right here goes to the actual front nose gyro. Now the way this thing comes configured, guys, is when you go ahead and you get it plugged in, it's pretty much almost plug and play, if you want to say, is when you get your gear down, this will turn on and you'll have the brake option, and your front nose gear will go ahead and operate. Now let's say that doesn't happen and it only works with the gear up. Okay, now you have two things. One, if you're having brakes on, let's say, a foamy like an E-Flight module, you will have to do this. It's right here. It's called the auto config on page 1 of the instructions, and it basically tells you you're basically going to put this, reinitialize this to a 0 state. You'll have the gear down on the plane. So when this comes on, it will be like, okay, your gear is already down, and it will go ahead and operate normally. Now with me, guys, I'm going to be having this in one of my turbines that has a separate brake controller. So an easy way for you guys to go ahead and remedy that is on your gear, just go ahead and reverse polarity. Just a little hint for you guys. But that's pretty much the gyro, guys. There's really nothing to it. Everything's already comes in preset. I expect the gains to be pretty doled down for it, but from the videos I see on YouTube, it works. And the price difference of $200 plus for the Zyquai LG15 controller to $55 shipped. Yeah, definitely gonna get this a try. And for the instructions, you can see it basically, it's very point blank. It tells you gear out, your gear in, your brake in. It's very self-explanatory. The installation on it, guys, face down with the label up. So just like this right here, it can go. So this is the front of the plane this way. It can go this way, anywhere those arrows. Also, it tells you right here, breaks down if you want to go ahead and turn it onto its side. This is basically a one-way gyro, so any way that this arrows are pointing. So it could go right there. I'm sure it can go upside down, but any way that these arrows are pointing with the horizontal plane, you're good to go. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. A quick, quick and dirty about this gyro. I'm going to be installing this in my HSD Super Viper turbine, and we'll have videos shortly of it working out. Well, guys, glad you guys enjoyed. See you back.